Well, hello and welcome to this third thought of the day in this second week of thoughts. We've been thinking about suffering through the Bible this week. We looked at the beginning at creation, how God made a good world and how there wasn't any suffering or illness or death for people in that world initially. But then because of sin and the fall, actually those things came into the world, part of that brokenness that followed from sin. But we also saw yesterday that actually a particular person might suffer quite greatly, even though that's not related to their particular failings or sins. The suffering is just part of the general brokenness of the world around us. Well, today we're going to turn to Jesus, and we're going to see Jesus meet a man who has suffered quite considerably. I'm going to see how Jesus responds to him. So I'm going to read from an account that happens in Mark's Gospel. It's an account where Jesus is teaching in a house, and then something quite surprising happened next. So do listen to this. Some men came, bringing to him a paralytic, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus, and after digging through it, lowered the mat the paralyzed man was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven." This is a really remarkable account for many reasons. Digging through the roof is quite a remarkable thing, but also how Jesus responds to this man. Clearly his friends had brought him and he had come wanting to be healed, to be able to walk. But what Jesus does is he forgives the man's sins. Clearly his a need that we could see was for him to be able to walk. But Jesus sees that his deeper need, and indeed everyone's deeper need, is for our relationship with God to be sorted out. That spiritual need, forgiveness of sins, knowing God now and therefore knowing God forever, is a much deeper and bigger need than any physical needs we might have. Now at the moment we're quite limited in how we can change our outward situations. Often we can't change what we're able to do at the moment, and if we're unwell, there's perhaps fairly little we can do. But we can think about our spiritual situation and make sure that, like those who are trusting in Jesus in the Bible, we're also those who trust in Jesus and are therefore forgiven by him. And Jesus, at the end of this account, proves he can forgive this man by doing something that can be seen. Some of the people there think that Jesus can't forgive a man, and Jesus proves he can. This is how the account ends. But that you may know, this is Jesus saying this, but that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins, he said to the paralytic. I tell you, get up, take your mat and go home. He got up, took his mat and walked out in full view of them all. This amazed everyone, and they praised God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." The man's disability was part of that sort of brokenness of the world, part of the fact that things don't go right all the time, that there's illness, that there's a pain, that there's death. And Jesus proved that he could deal with sin by dealing with some of these parts of the brokenness that comes in the world because of that sin at the beginning that we thought about on Monday. So Jesus proves he can forgive sins and that he can restore people to how we were meant to be. And we'll see more of that in the days to come. But today we should see that if we want to have our most deep problem sorted, then we need to turn to Jesus for forgiveness. We might not be able to affect our outward situation, but we can look to Jesus for forgiveness and make sure that spiritual state is right with him. Do join us tomorrow for more as we look again at Jesus tomorrow. Thank you.